The question is in the air, simmering behind the scenes and in fan groups across the Silver and Black Nation. Which side of the field will be the beating heart of the Las Vegas Raiders in 2025? The offense or the defense? After a frustrating season with just 4 wins, the franchise decided it was time to reshape its identity, and did so in style. It all started at the top, with the surprising hire of Pete Carroll, the 73-year-old veteran coach returning to the NFL after a sabbatical. A Super Bowl champion with the Seahawks, Carroll brings not only composure, but also renewed energy and a knack for transforming mediocre times into true powerhouses. At his side is new general manager John Spytek, who arrives with a strong resume, having built a division-winning squad in Tampa Bay. Together, they promised change and delivered. In the offseason, the Raiders adopted a bold and comprehensive approach, improving across the board, rejuvenating the core, and seeking immediate competitiveness. The big question now is which of these units, offense or defense, is truly ready to make the leap and carry the rumored momentum of becoming a major player in the AFC. Starting with the offense, the Raiders have finally taken a decisive step toward ending the constant quarterback rotation since Derek Carr's departure. Geno Smith, formerly of the Seahawks, arrives to provide the stability that was sorely lacking. Experienced, precise, and accustomed to complex systems, Smith offers exactly what Las Vegas needs: consistency, game control, and decisiveness in critical moments. But the Raiders didn't stop there. They were aggressive in the draft and invested heavily in Ashton Jeanty, an explosive, versatile running back with star potential. Jeanty is known for his ability to break tackles and accelerate in tight spaces, something that could immediately transform a department that was the NFL's worst in terms of rushing tanks last season. Furthermore, the arrival of new offensive coordinator Chip Kelly has added a special touch. Kelly, who won a college title at Ohio State, is an offensive strategist recognized for his fast, aggressive, and unpredictable style. He promises a more modern, dynamic offense tailored to the strengths of his players. The combination of Kelly, Smith, and Jeanty could be the perfect trio to revive an offense that has been disjointed and predictable. And we also have names like Jacoby Myers, Brock Bowers, Jack Beck, and Donta Thornton in the receiving core, which, if utilized well, could form one of the most versatile groups in the AFC. The potential is in the air, and the Raiders' offense promises much more than just flashes. Now, looking at the other side of the ball, the defense has undergone a more discreet but equally important overhaul. Las Vegas lost defensive cornerstones like Robert Spillane, Nate Hobbs, Divine Diablo, Trevon Moehrig, and Marcus Epps, players who were essential parts of the team's defensive identity. These departures have left gaps that will be difficult to fill. To make up for these losses, the team brought in names like Elandon Roberts, a physical and veteran linebacker, Jermaine Pratt, known for her tactical acumen, Eric Stokes, a cornerback with a high athletic ceiling, and Jeremy Chin, a versatile safety with the ability to play in multiple roles. The question is, are these additions truly worth the losses? Or are we talking about equivalent trades that may maintain the level but are unlikely to elevate the defense to new heights? Another factor of uncertainty is the health of the defensive unit. Last year, injuries were frequent and hampered collective performance. If the defense can stay healthy, there is enough talent to compete. But relying on that is always a high risk in a league as physical as the NFL. While the offense breathes newness, youth, and aggressiveness, the defense still appears to be in a process of adaptation and adjustment. Therefore, the balance, at least at this point, clearly tilts toward the offensive side. And this has direct consequences for the Raiders' style of play in 2025. We should expect a season that plays forward, seeks to score big, and takes risks. A season that will depend on the creativity of Chip Kelly, the precision of Geno Smith, and the explosiveness of Ashton Jeanty. The defense, in this scenario, will have the mission of holding firm, containing the damage, and forcing turnovers at the right moments. It won't be a perfect formula, but it could be a necessary formula to get the Raiders back into playoff contention. What if I told you there's a name on the radar who could elevate this offense even further, and one that's intensely divisive among fans? Well, yes, Terry McLaurin, one of the NFL's loudest receivers, ready to torch opposing defenses. It seems like the kind of move that would immediately change the Raiders' fortunes. But curiously, the idea of bringing in McLaurin has sparked a storm among fans, and it wasn't just euphoria. In recent days, McLaurin's name has been heavily featured among Raiders rumors. The speculation gained fuel after a Fox Sports report listed Las Vegas as one of the most ideal destinations for the wide receiver, should his relationship with the Washington Commanders truly deteriorate to the point of a trade. McLaurin, it's worth remembering, is in the final year of his contract, and with talks stalled in Washington, his departure seems increasingly plausible. With that in mind, we decided to ask the Silver and Black Nation directly, would you accept a trade for McLaurin? The results were surprising. In a poll with nearly 700 votes, 70% of fans rejected the idea, while only 30% voted in favor. That's right. Even with the possibility of adding an elite talent to the offense, most fans prefer to stay away. But why? The explanation may lie in context. Although the Raiders have salary cap space to fund McLaurin's contract and even extend Jakobi Meyers' contract, which is the final year of his contract, the acquisition cost would be far from light. To lure the wide receiver from Washington, the speculated price tag is around a first-round pick in the 2026 draft. That alone is a significant factor. But there's more. McLaurin's arrival could also hinder the development of two promising young players, Jack Beck and Donta Thornton. Both were strategic choices by the new coaching staff and have shown encouraging progress in training camp. They represent the future of the Raiders' receiving core, and there's a legitimate concern that McLaurin would steal reps, attention, and development time from these rising players. Furthermore, there's an identity dilemma. Fans see the Raiders finally adopting a more patient philosophy, focused on internal development and building a young, sustainable roster. Bringing in McLaurin now would, for many, be an abrupt break from that tradition, a big gamble at a time of uncertainty. Of course, the player's talent can't be ignored. McLaurin is coming off consistent seasons, averaging over 1,000 yards per year, even playing with average quarterbacks in Washington. He's fast, technical, and reliable, and would fit into any offense in the league as an immediate factor. Alongside Geno Smith and under Chip Kelly's offensive leadership, McLaurin could help transform the Raiders into a respectable offensive machine. But what's the price of immediacy? And is he worth the certainty of a well-structured safety plan? This is the true divide among fans. On one side, those dream of an immediate impact. On the other, those prefer to maintain a long-term path. It's a valid discussion, and one that will likely continue to heat up in the coming weeks, especially if McLaurin's situation in Washington evolves into a permanent breakup. And if the Raiders decide to enter the fray, the front office will have to weigh not only the technical impact of the receiver's arrival, but also the emotional impact this move could have inside and outside the locker room. But while this potential endorsement divides opinions, a name within the team itself is uniting attention and rekindling hope. A coach who once stood at the top of the NFL fell, rebuilt his career in college football, and is now back to change the face of this offense. Could he be Las Vegas's true asset in 2025? He was once a promising prospect. He was once criticized. He was once forgotten. But Chip Kelly is back, and hungrier than ever. Named the Raiders' offensive coordinator for 2025, Kelly may be poised to revive his career in style. After a promising start with the Philadelphia Eagles, a turbulent stint with the San Francisco 49ers, and a college football exile, Kelly rebuilt his leadership by leading Ohio State to a national title. Under his guidance, quarterback Will Howard shone in the college playoffs, achieving elite scores. This caught the attention of Pete Carroll, who placed his bet on Kelly to reinvent the Las Vegas offense. According to Trevor Sikkema of Pro Football Focus, Kelly is one of the top coordinators to take on a head coaching role after 2025 if the Raiders' offense thrives. And with names like Geno Smith, Ashton Jeanty, Jakobi Meyers, and Brock Bowers, the offensive structure is in place. If Kelly can replicate the offensive success he had with Ohio State in Las Vegas, the NFL's eyes will be on him again, and not just as a coordinator, but as a potential head coach. It may seem early, but the stage is set. If the offense soars, Kelly could be the star that revives it, and that could change everything for the Raiders. So fans, with a revamped offense under Chip Kelly, hot rumors about a possible trade for Terry McLaurin, and a defense packed with defenders, do you believe the Raiders are finally ready to return to the playoffs? Or are there still some key piece missing from this puzzle? Leave your opinion here. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, but I'll be back later to update you with the latest Raiders news.